You're thinking about getting a first reptile, you're not quite sure how to set it up. Probably seen a whole lot of videos of people telling you since it's your first one, it's okay to go ahead and put on regular substrate, whether it's aspen or cocoa fiber. Well, I'm here to tell you, I honestly heard all of that before, and I followed it. And now that I've been in for heading on 2 years, I honestly don't agree with that. What I learned that I wish I would have done at the very beginning was put your reptile into quarantine. This sets up a really good start to learn your animal's behavior. It also helps you make sure that your reptile is healthy. There are a few things that when you set it up on a regular substrate kind of makes it a little bit difficult to identify. The biggest one of those is mites. Now, the other advantage of putting it in quarantine is you're able to sit there and monitor its bowel movements to make sure that they are healthy, consistent bowel movements. But also, like I said, you get to learn the behaviors. Is the behavior it is showing you and demonstrating normal behavior. When you have regular substrate, some of this could be very difficult to identify. Now, if you're not quite sure what that looks like, I'll go ahead and demonstrate right now with an example enclosure. We're going to go ahead, assume that this is your heat source. If you decide that you want to use a basking bulb, you want to use a deep heat projector, that's perfectly fine. Even a heat radiant panel is perfectly fine. I honestly prefer heat panels, but I have this on hand. We're gonna pretend this is the heat source. So you want your heat source attached to the bottom of your enclosure. We're gonna pretend this is your enclosure. It doesn't matter. It could be a glass front opening terrarium. It could be a fish tank, and it could be a tub just like this. Just make sure it's big enough for your reptile. And because this is an under tank heat mint, you obviously are going to stick it to the bottom. Use aluminum foil tape. If you happen to be in aviation, speed tape works just as well. Now you are going to put your probe on the bottom inside the enclosure. Even with a quarantine tank, that's what you want to do. Do not put tape inside the enclosure. Eventually, the adhesive will come off and will end up probably sticking to your reptile. We don't want that. It's all bad juju. But what I recommend instead is use hot glue. Hot glue, if it comes off, it's easy to reapply. Also helps with it's not affected by moisture, and it's simple. It's relatively easy to do. And you're going to put your paper towel in there, just like so. Alright? And because somebody's going to, well, you didn't say anything about a thermostat. Well, guess what? Here's a thermostat. Always use a thermostat. Now, you want your two hides. One on the hot side, one on the cold side. That way they can pick in between. They're indecisive. Now, your water dish. I prefer putting the water dish on the cold side. This helps control humidity. Not every species likes high humidity. Not every species likes low humidity. This will help control it. If you have a species that needs higher humidity, I was busy editing the video and realized I said something stupid that kind of defeated the purpose of having your animal in quarantine. And the problem is if your animal does need higher humidity, go ahead and use a humidity hide. Don't use a substrate. Just plain and simple, use a humidity hide and keep the paper towels. Now back to the regular video. Fake plant. Put it in here. You can also use paper towel rolls, such like toilet paper, or if you have a roll of paper towels like this and it's just the cardboard, cut it in half if you have to. Use the whole thing. Just keep in mind, paper towel rolls, half logs, those are enrichment, they are not hides. Don't be lazy and go, oh, well, this is a hide. No, it's enrichment. You want a hide to be fully enclosed with one in and out opening. Now, with that said, we're pretty much done. You want your quarantine to be a happy medium of clutter and as minimal as possible so you can observe. The whole key is keep stress levels down, but also be able to observe. And then obviously your lid. If you are using a tub, make sure you are able to latch on preferably all four sides. If you are using a aquarium and you have the screen top, make sure you have latches for that. You don't want your little buddy to be able to get out. And that's it. It's really super simple. If you have a tub like I'm going to show a B-roll of with limoncello, I actually use this tub as a quarantine for anything I get. It's been the home for several months for a few different species that I've had. I always clean and sanitize it, and if you go this route to where you have a collection and you have a quarantine tub or rack, whatever, make sure you always sanitize it before you put another species in. But because limoncello is a hognose and hognoses like to burrow, what I do is I have a little cheap tub like this from the dollar store, and I take the paper towel and I shred it and I fill it up. I use the paper towel just like I do the substrate. This way I'm able to monitor. If there are mites, it will show up on the paper towel. If there's a loose stool, I'm able to see that. And on top of it, these little tubs are easily sanitized. Because I have that room in this tub, I'm able to allow her to exercise those natural behaviors of burrowing. I honestly feel like whenever an animal is able to exhibit those natural behaviors, it helps keep the stress levels down. Yes, in the wild, hognoses like to burrow and burrow deep. With that little tub, she's not able to burrow as deep as she might want, but she's able to get some of that natural behavior out. There might be somebody that complains about it. Well, you said minimize. Well, like I said, you'll see what I've done for her in my quarantine. It is cluttered. She is tiny. If you go over to Facebook, you can see pictures of her. But it is cluttered. She's able to hide. She's able to get under the paper towel if she wants. She has, I think, 3 or 4 hides in there that she can choose from, plus a piece of wood she's able to get under, and that tub she can burrow in. So, yes, if you're able to provide those extra little enrichments, if not, it's perfectly okay. Just provide what you can. There's nothing wrong with showing extra love for your little friend and be able to keep those stress levels down. So my vote is your first reptile should still go into quarantine. Go ahead, leave a comment below and tell me what you think that you should do if you are an experienced keeper, and tell us why. I'm really interested. There's always something to learn. My name is Matt. This is Fogtown Pets. Please hit the like, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.